don't think I can make this.
Well, you might as well try. It's the end of the episode.
So this is, oh my god, it's actually here.
Finally.
Joe, I am so excited. I've been waiting for this day for a very long time. This is Sekiro by From Software, the creators of the Dark Souls series. And everybody had their eye on FromSoft for a long time after the Dark Souls series had concluded. Everybody wants to know, is this game any good? And I can say, it is fantastic. And we're going to take a look at it today. My name is Ed.
My name's Joe.
And again, we're playing Sekiro today. So we're going to start a file that I have. However, we're doing that because there's a little bit of prologue in the game, and we don't want to give away too much. So I'm just going to start. I'm going to start near the beginning of the game.
Are you going to start playing, or do you want me to play so you can talk more?
No, you're going to play. You're going to play.
Okay.
But I'm just starting us in basically the hub of the game, which you get to pretty early on in the game. I have a couple of extra abilities. So also, by the way, spoiler warning: if you don't want spoilers, I would X out now. There aren't going to be any story spoilers, just sort of weapons and upgrades.
Oh, okay.
But this is basically where you start the game. After you sort of complete the prologue, you end up here in this little enclosure, right? And it's up to you from here on out where you go and what you do.
The graphics are really good.
Did you say M?
No.
No, you said that. I heard it. The graphics I'm really good.
Oh, I did?
I think you did.
The graphics, good.
All right. So Joe's going to play now.
All right. I'm going to play Sekiro. Let's see how it goes, man.
So in Sekiro, a lot of small things are different, but it still feels very much like a FromSoft game.
And should I give her my C? How many? I mean, we can't be the first one to make that joke.
No, I bet we are. We're pretty clever.
Okay, I'm gonna give her my. Oh, I don't have any.
So your gourd is your Estus actually in this game.
Okay.
Your
so
gourd.
I don't have any Estus.
You do. You have. Well, so that's an upgrade to your Estus. So you can bottom right corner. There,
oh, we can. Wait, did I just jump?
Yeah. So you can actually jump in this game.
How the hell?
And it is crucial. This is a game that I've played about 12 hours of, and I don't feel like it hasn't clicked yet. I know that for sure. It hasn't clicked, and I don't feel good at the game, and I don't feel confident. So in our hub area, this is the guy who will give us new abilities when we discover them in the overworld. We come back to him, and he'll fit them onto our prosthetic arm.
Sounds great.
Which, you know, is not really a spoiler, because that's kind of all the marketing for the game. You lose your arm at about... Well, at the beginning of the game, you lose your arm, and you're fitted with this grappling hook, which is your default state for that arm, and then you can further fit it with all kinds of interesting weapons. And
nothing more entertaining than prayer.
Again, if you're watching this...
Wait, I just prayed and now I'm at Hirata Estate?
Mm-hmm. And, oh, by default, all the...
By default, all your controls are inverted. Okay.
Okay.
Do you mind if I swap it?
Go ahead.
Controller config. Is that what we got to do here?
No.
Here it is.
No,
camera controls. Camera control.
No.
No, that's not it. Where is it? It's got to be under camera controls, right?
No.
Oh God, I'm so embarrassed.
Go back to camera options.
Oh, camera options.
There you go.
There it is. We want standard on the x-axis because we're human beings here. There we go.
I don't even know what I was going to say. By default, something.
I had to try it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. What the hell? There's checkpoints?
So here's the thing. There is almost no fall damage in this game. Almost none.
Unless we just took damage and it put us to the top of the cliff?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep. This is a game built around stealth.
I thought it was a checkpoint.
And no. So that's your bonfire right there, that sculptor's idol.
Oh, okay. So I guess I should probably use it because I just took damage.
And from there you can rest. Yeah, the action button is X in this game instead of A.
Right. Hit rest.
Yeah.
Sounds great, man.
And of course, in classic From style, all the enemies respawn whenever you rest.
Well, I haven't seen an enemy yet, so I think we didn't lose a damn thing there.
And the game is built entirely differently. Not only can you jump, which you're going to have to do a lot, this game is basically Dark Souls 1 level design, which, you know, a lot of people, myself included, consider that to be their favorite level design in the series, and possibly of all time. I'm also in that group.
So do I have to jump off here somewhere?
Yeah, go ahead. You can jump in the water if you want. Go ahead. Oh, you know what?
Oh, can I like lock onto there or something?
Yeah, so that
that's
that
not what
little circle there, if you jump towards it and then hit L trigger when it turns green, you'll see it turn green right there.
Oh,
There you
there we
go.
go. Okay, cool.
That's your basic mode of travel.
Okay.
That is the most
I didn't
common way to be
understand that.
getting around. Yeah,
Oh, I get it.
you're gonna be doing that.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
let-
I've seen that in videos, but I didn't
yeah.
click right away.
And let me tell you, man, it feels good. This game is Dark Souls 1 level design, but with more verticality than ever. Oh, and by default, all the language is in Japanese with English subtitles. You can change it. I'm really digging it. The game takes place in the Sengoku era. You know, it's obviously a fictitious story, but it takes place in a real era of Japanese history. So it only feels right to leave it in the Japanese default language.
It sounds good. Like the voice actors, the two that I've heard so far.
Yeah.
Are-
I'm really looking forward to hearing it in English because a little bit in the trailers I think I heard some of it in English, and it sounds again really good. But I kind of wanted this first playthrough to be, you know, just kind of as it is, not necessarily meant to be, but you know what I mean, just default.
Oh god.
All right, so
What button do I press? No, it wasn't X.
it's just like Dark Souls in that R1 is your basic attack.
Oh yeah. I don't play Dark Souls games.
Right.
You can probably tell because
Right.
I pressed X to attack first. That's usually more of a stylish action style of gameplay.
And a couple other, and there's so much to talk
It's
about.
lock on. Oh, here we go. Yeah, it's
Yeah, there you go.
R stick.
Same as
that's
Dark
pretty
Souls.
standard.
So there's no stamina in this game, which means you can spam attacks, you can run infinitely. It sounds completely broken, but somehow it's not.
Can I pick this up? Is this an
Yeah,
item I can
so
pick up?
you have a vacuum feature. If you hold down the X button,
Oh, X. Oh, okay. It's like
suck it all up.
Like Onimusha.
So enemies will drop gold, and they'll frequently drop items. That is your prosthetic item, sort of. I mean, you see that red circle there that you just saw? Yeah, that means you can do a death blow. And
Got
you do
it.
that special animation. And it's
Oh,
very
there's wolves.
it's very important to do death blows in this game, because that's how you restore your resurrective ability. So if you look in the lower left corner, you see your health bar, right? Pretty low right now. But you also have those two pink circles. And you can die. You can get killed once and come back to life.
Oh, that's why it's called Shadows Die Twice.
Right, exactly. Yep. And you can resurrect exactly where you stand, or you can choose to die if you really want to.
Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice.
Yeah.
Is the title of this game.
You know, I believe this is true, that they originally just wanted to call it Sekiro. But Activision insisted on adding the subtitle Shadows Die Twice, which originally was just like sort of a tagline and not necessarily part of the actual...
Yeah, it is kind of corny. It sounds like an American action movie title. Yeah.
Yeah. So I could have done with or without that, but like I understand the...
What was that movie called? Or that
Live,
that
Die,
mo-
Repeat.
Yeah.
Yep, I know exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. You thought of it instantly.
I know, yeah.
But what was the name of the movie though?
Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They changed the name after the film was already released. After it was out of theaters when it
Can
came
I throw
to...
something at this guy?
Things you can throw are... oh, you're about to be seen by somebody in your bottom right corner. Get into the grass, get into the grass. There you go. And if you click in the stick, you can duck. There you go. So somebody was on the verge of seeing you, but you got away. Things you can throw are... If you hit the Y button, you can cycle through what you have equipped on your prosthetic right now. So right now you have that axe in the bottom right corner.
Can I climb up here?
No.
Oh.
No.
Well, it's a ladder though, isn't it? Oh no, it's just the side of a house.
Other things you can throw. Oh, you know what? You can throw some really cool stuff. Here, open up the menu. I'll show you some cool stuff to throw. Here you have your quick items down here.
Yeah.
You have your Estus Flask. Equip, scroll down a bit. There's quite a lot of items in the game.
Jesus.
There's a lot of management. Equip Ceramic Shard. So I'm not very good with this item. I haven't had a lot of success with it. And then you use left and right of the D-pad to swap your quick items. Yeah. And then you use up on the D-pad to use it, which is really unintuitive. I don't like it. I should have changed it by now, but I haven't. So you use up on the D-pad and you'll just throw a piece of ceramic shard. So what you can do is you can target an enemy, throw a piece of ceramic shard at them, and hopefully they'll break off from the pack that they're part of and come investigate.
So it's like the stone, like from Bloodborne. What do they call it? I think it was
Pebble.
stone or
Pebble.
pebble. Yeah, pebble.
And yeah, the entire focus of this game is doing as much stealth as you can. You don't have to. You never Have to.
Oops.
And frequently you come up against packs
All right,
of
here,
two
eat
guys.
shard. Eat shard,
There you
idiot.
go. Well,
I throw this shard at you.
yeah,
No,
it's not really used for combat
Yeah, it's not.
necessarily.
It's definitely pebble.
Yeah.
It's the equivalent of pebble. Oh, we're dead here. I think we're gonna perish. Oh, I hit the wrong button.
Yeah. So you died.
Yeah, that was pretty pitiful.
So now you have an option. You can wait about 10 seconds before you commit to this, but you can either die or resurrect.
I'll resurrect.
Right. And
Why wouldn't I do that?
right, so he lost aggro, so now you can just sneak up on him, do that death
And slit
blow.
his throat. Oh wow, I wish that real life
Yeah.
was like that, because man, every time that somebody kills me, I really want to kill him back. All right, let's see if I can break this guy
You're being
off of
detected. You're being detected.
that. Oh good. Well, only one of them detected me.
Right, right. And if that bar turns yellow, they do come after you. Usually they do. Usually they walk up ahead and try to see where you are. And now you're spotted.
Yeah, good. Good. I wanted to be. Oh, he's an archer though.
Oh yes, that's right.
All right, come
That's
on.
right.
All right, let's just do this head on.
All right. It's really not that bad to do it head on. You can do it. You can dash with the B button, just like in sort of Bloodborne and Dark Souls. There's a much less reliance on iframes.
Oh god. Well, that didn't go as planned.
Yeah. No. Okay. That's my first 12 hours with the game, which is all I've spent. That is doing that. You're going to be doing that nonstop.
Oh.
That is the game. But just like Dark Souls, you get better and better. You feel like you're doing better, and you improve. You know what I mean? This is a game that some reviewers have said is the easiest entry in Miyazaki's career. Others have said it is by far the hardest. I'm with those guys. I think this is the single hardest game maybe that I've ever played.
It might be just because you're more used to Dark Souls, though, right?
Yeah, that definitely has a lot to do with it. I know that I keep sort of like...
So maybe for somebody like me,
Mhm.
it might be the easiest.
That might be. I might be. I am sort of instinctually dodge rolling or just dodging whenever possible, which is really the worst way to evade attacks here.
So I probably have less to unlearn to play a game
Yeah.
like this, just because I don't have any muscle memory really at all. Very little for Bloodborne. That's about the most I've
Right.
played. I never even beat Bloodborne. Couldn't get through it.
So speaking of that, about the gameplay loop, it's actually
Oh god.
jumping and dodging are pretty much the worst ways to go about it. The way to handle combat is to use the R bumper to attack with your sword, and the L bumper to deflect attacks. Now, when you deflect attack, it's basically like a parry. You kind of want to time it so that just when they're hitting you, you hit L bumper, and you deflect their attack, and that increases their posture bar, which is not their health, but is a
L bumper. So
yeah.
This block right here.
right. So you can hold it to block, but it's better
Oh,
to
okay.
just hit it only when they're about to
All right, let's
attack.
try
you.
it.
Yeah.
Let's try it. And get killed.
So try to evade his attack. There you
Oh,
go.
we did it.
There you go. Yeah. So it gives you a nice indicator, and man, is it so satisfying. And that's really the easiest way to get those death blow kills, is to continually successfully deflect attacks while also attacking them.
Wait, why are there? Oh yeah, there were 3 wolves here last time.
Yeah.
This is where we fought those wolves.
Dogs, man. From soft dogs, they know no bounds.
Come on, dog. Come on, I'll deflect you.
I don't know if you can deflect dogs.
I just did.
Oh.
I did the first dog.
There you go.
Deflected him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So some of the enemies are pretty just fodder. Like, they're pretty easy. You can just you can spam R1 and you can just kill them. But
He says as I have 1 hit point left.
oh yeah, you should heal, by the way. You can use left and
Oh, yeah,
right
how do
to
you
cycle
heal?
through your quick items, and then use up to use the healing gourd.
Akko's shop. Sugar.
Yeah. There are items that, you
Healing
know...
gourd. Oh, okay. I should have been doing this earlier.
Yeah.
Let's take a couple sips.
Mhm.
What do you think about this guy?
He's going to spot you, is what I think.
Can I
There you
can
go.
I hook him with my hook shot?
No.
Oh.
No. But you can use the hook shot to sort of, like, travel around, and I see a
Oh, I
spot
have- I got
right
it.
now that you can...
I got an idea.
Oh, yeah? Yeah?
Sucker. Idiot.
Now, here's something that you can do. Hang out here. Jump back on that roof. Jump back up on that roof. Oh, you can double jump. If you if
Wait,
you're
double jump? Are you serious?
if you're holding up against the wall, you can double jump. There,
Oh,
you
there
go.
it goes. All right.
So now that he's turned around, oh, he's walking away.
Can we do like a downward slam attack?
That's
Or
exactly what I was.
yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Hit him again. Hit him again with the ceramic shard, and then run away. Because what you can do in this game, Oh, didn't hit
Didn't
him.
reach.
All right, never mind then.
Wow,
Never mind.
Really
then.
weak arms.
But basically, if you jump from above on any enemy, you can one hit them, as long as they don't see you. Oh yeah, use the X button to grab ledges.
X
So, like,
to grab ledges.
Yeah, so like if you're jumping up to a ledge, like any of these ledges, you can grab.
I have a better idea.
Yeah. Also, you can hold B to run, and this is your favorite, Joe. It's B to dash into run.
No. Wait, it is dashing to run? If I release B, do I stop running? No, it doesn't work exactly as I like.
What do you mean?
You should be able to release B and continue running.
Oh, I
in,
see.
Yeah,
I see.
in Nier Automata, that's how it works.
I see.
Yeah, we probably don't talk about it much on the show, but yeah, Ed and I talk about it all the time when we're working on designing our game. We love, well, I specifically love dash to run. The way that the dashing works in Nier Automata, I think is fucking perfect. So we talk about that a lot. And yeah, this doesn't work exactly like that. You just have to hold B to do it. This is more like Gears of War kind of.
Ah.
You gotta hold down the button to continue the dash. Let's see if we can just keep running. This seems to be working pretty well.
You can just keep running.
We're seeing a lot of the game.
Yeah.
I'm gonna beat the game. Oh god. As long as the bosses don't have us in enclosed arenas, which I assume they are.
They are.
Let's just assume, but I'm just gonna assume that they're not.
Right.
Well, look at this guy. Oh,
Big boy.
we're not, doesn't stand a chance against our running.
Yeah. That's actually the preferred strategy for that section because
This looks like the place I want to be. Look at. Oh god. I kind of figured I would take burn damage.
yeah,
and die.
you're gonna die here because
Alright.
because burn damage is stacks unreasonably quickly. Watch this. Resurrect, and watch how quickly this burn damage kills you.
Okay. Wow.
It was like
Wow, you really burned to death fast.
a second and a half, maybe.
Wow, that was third degree.
Yeah.
Do you want to take over, or should I keep playing? Do you have more to talk on about?
I can go over it as I play, I guess. I don't know, unless you want to play.
All right,
some
why
more.
don't you do
All
a
right.
run at least to get us to like another spot?
Yeah.
Maybe if you can.
Because I know it feels like I'm kind of just throwing you in the deep end here, and I kind of was, you know.
You know, I don't play these games,
Right.
and on top of that, yeah, I've never played this one specifically.
So we're gonna go to an area with. We'll go to like a relatively early area.
Oh, that wasn't an early area?
No, that was actually. It
Oh,
was a
okay.
pretty early area. You're praying at that statue that you did. It happens fairly early on, but I only managed to complete it today after 12 hours or so. So this is one of the first actual bonfires that you come across. Once you know what? Screw it. We'll start even earlier than this. This will be nice. So we'll start from the very beginning of the hub area. When you wake up with your prosthetic arm, you're just learning to use it. Because you can learn a lot about a game by how it teaches you through its tutorial. One thing that I really like is there's a combat dummy, this guy, who's immortal. And he lets you train with all kinds of... Because you actually need that in this game. Like in previous Dark Souls games, you didn't really need this, you kind of just got the hang of it. But in this game, you really need to... These are fundamentals of combat that if you don't have this specific enemy encounter to practice with, you'll never get. So for example... We have this ability called the Mikiti counter in Sekiro.
Yeah, of course.
And when you see that kanji,
Yeah.
that is that means that attack is not what is it? It's not
Block.
deflectable.
Deflectable.
It's tricky. They're deflectable or not guardable or not guardable or deflectable, something like that. It basically means you can't just kind of have to react to them. You can't just do what you're doing. You know what I mean? So this Mikiti counter allows us to, when this kind of specific attack hits, to press the dash button and deal a lot of like counterattack damage, so to speak. So, and this is something that you'd never really
You have to
understand.
press the dash button.
Yeah, you dash and then follow it up with an attack. There you go. Yeah. So, but it's something that, again, in the heat of the moment, you almost never think of, and you don't do it unless you've had enough practice with it here, which is why it's really, really important that you actually have this combat dummy. So let's get out of here. So the grappling system is probably one of the most fascinating things about this game, and I really am loving it so far. The grappling hooks the waypoints are placed in such a way that you can pretty much jump from section to section. You can pretty much skip over entire sections of the game if you want to. And of course, that's usually not the preferred way to do it, but you could if you really wanted to.
If you're a speedrunner,
right?
That might be the preferred way to do it.
Yeah, and there are plenty of speedruns already coming up.
How long has this been out? Like a week?
It came out the 23rd, so 3 days.
Oh, 3 days.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. When you run through the tutorial area, you get the tutorial messages. So this is what I was telling you about before. You can do stealth death blows if you just land on top of somebody.
Yeah.
So let's. I imagine there's a guy placed right here for us to practice. Practice that on. Let's try it because it looks very cool. Yeah, it's weird. Most of the combat in this game is either you kill them in one hit or they kill you in 1 or 2 hits. Like that's the goal of the stealthiness of this game.
Playing a lot of these one-hit games tonight.
Shit. Okay, it didn't work, but you get the idea. Now this guy you can just spam attack with and deal with him. You're gonna suck up his money. And,
113 Rio, as they called it in the old days.
It's called Sen in this game.
Oh.
Now somebody saw me. What's that guy? He threw a ceramic shard. So, but for most enemies, the ones that aren't just R1 spam, it is absolutely, oops, it is absolutely a possibility that you'll just die to regular dudes because the game is unbelievably hard. It demands that you master its deflection and attack system, and if you try to get through with brute force, man, you are not in for a good time. So, and I'm actually stuck at a certain point right now where I'm trying to overcome that, and it's very difficult to do. As a longtime Souls fan, it is very difficult to get used to this new. Here we go. To get used to this new style of playing. Here we go. Yeah, take him down. So one shot. Yeah. So every enemy.
You wrestled him to the ground.
I wrestled. So every enemy except for the mini bosses and bosses is taken down in 1 hit if you stealth them.
I love those old-timey muskets. They give you so much time to kill them when they're loading their muskets.
So based on everything I knew about this game, I wasn't really sure what to expect. Because everything dies in 1 hit. It sounds like it would be too easy, or like it didn't sound fleshed out. It didn't sound like it would make for a compelling game. But it absolutely does.
Yeah, I guess if you're thinking of it through the lens of like a Dark Souls game, you're probably thinking that every enemy should be like a one-on-one fighting game match almost, right? But they probably balance it out by having the character be a little more squishy, so everybody in the game dies more easily, the player and the enemies included.
And you already died easily enough in Dark Souls, and more as I play this game and I understand how it sort of works. At first I kind of missed the fact that you didn't level up at bonfires. Like you couldn't increase your life directly, you couldn't increase your stamina directly, you couldn't increase your attack power directly. I'm now realizing that with the absence of those things, you don't really level up in this game. The only thing you can increase in this game is your health and attack power, and it only happens at specific times. So it's not something you can just grind and pump points into. Right? There's no like player stats. I'm realizing now that makes for the tightest possible player experience. Because
sure, yeah, you're gonna get a perfect balance that way if you spread out the players' upgrades. Yeah.
And yeah, exactly.
Throughout specific points in the game that they have to go through. If you funnel them through to the point where they get extra hit points, then you balance the rest of the game based on the fact that they have that many hit points.
Exactly. Yeah. So as much as I didn't like it at first, I grew to understand how important that is and how tightly balanced the game is because of that.
Yeah.
And I'm now starting to prefer this system.
Yeah, you get to more tightly balance the game for sure if you do it that way, but if you do it in a way where you can customize the character more, or you can level the character up just by grinding and killing enemies, then yeah, it changes. Yeah, it changes the balance of the game. It's going to be more loose.
Right.
Just by definition, there's no way you can get around it. It's just going to, it's going to be more loose.
Because I mean, in Dark Souls, you could just pump points to a certain stat. Pump points into life, for example, and then, survive 2 or 3 hits from most enemies, and that's, if you're going for the intended quote-unquote gameplay experience, that's not it. And stats don't matter all that much anyway in Dark Souls games. So this is really the way to do it. is to
yeah,
just...
if you want to control the player experience and you want to give the player a balanced experience, that's the way to do it. Yeah.
So
Yeah, a lot of people like customizing their character, and
Yeah.
they like to get creative with it and try out different builds and stuff. But that doesn't sound like this is the kind of game for that.
And I mean, yeah, like I said initially, I lamented the loss of those stats.
Yeah.
But I'm happier. I'm like, at least in this particular game, I'm happier for that loss.
Yeah, I actually tend to prefer
Oops.
when the developer does the work for me and just gives me the balanced build.
Yeah.
The more direct approach to designing a progression system in a game. Than being able to choose my class and choose my stats, because, well, yeah, it's an opinion. It's more of a preference than anything. It's not necessarily better or worse either way, but it is probably something you want to decide fairly early on in a development cycle.
So here's a good example of the deflect/attack swordplay that you're going to be seeing a lot of. And again, this is I believe how you're intended to play the game, right?
Fighting 5 enemies at once?
no, but sort of it's sort of a what do you call it? A duo. Oops, between deflecting and attacking at appropriate times. But this is kind of ridiculous. So
yeah, can you escape?
Oops, I threw a ceramic shard.
Press the B button.
B button?
Yeah, run.
Let's heal. And also running in this game is unbelievably fast. Everything in this game is unbelievably fast. I used to think Bloodborne was the fastest game. This is the fastest game.
None of these games are the fastest game, but
no,
yeah,
I know.
For this style of game,
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
And the whole point of this was I'm trying to get right here, dead ahead of me, where the vendor is. Just wanted to show you what the vendor system is like in this game. There we go. So it's a lot of vertical movement, tons of vertical movement, which, you know, in classic Miyazaki form, leads to some amazing level design, some very creative and, like, really, really well hidden secrets. Things that you really have to scour for.
A lot of sugar in this game.
Yeah, I know. All the buffs, there are buffs that like reduce damage, increase attack power, reduce posture. Posture is like a stamina bar that when it depletes you can do a death blow. So the enemies, while they do have health bars, the health bars, like knocking down the health bar is not the most important thing in this game. The most important thing is to knock down the enemy's posture. It's a really strange system. I've never seen anything like it. But it makes perfect sense once you you know, get the hang of it. So I think what we'll do is, we've been going for about a half hour. What I will do is show you about where I am in the game. So this is a spoiler warning. If you don't want to see any more spoilers, I would close it out now. But I will show you a little bit about some of the more quote-unquote advanced swordplay in the game, which is to say that I still suck at it, but it's more than just R1 spamming, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to warp to... You can also free warp. Pretty much anytime you discover a bonfire in the game, you can warp to it. Where was I? We'll check out the... Let's check out the reservoir.
We were talking about that before we started recording today. Spreading apart the save points and the warp points in a game. Should you do it or should you not? It depends on the game, right? But whenever you can combine elements, in my opinion, you should do it. But if you have a reason to split apart save points and split apart warp points to detach them from each other, you should probably, yeah, you can do it. But if you can combine them, you should. Yeah, because we were playing. The reason why we were talking about a game called Touhou Luna Nights, which we're going to be doing. We're going to be playing on the channel pretty soon. And that game separates the hit point restoration and magic point restoration from the save points from the teleporters. So it separates everything out from each other, and it didn't necessarily need to do that. Like, they didn't need to separate the hit point restoration from the save points. So we're just doing a quick critique of that game, and I'm sure we'll talk about it when we actually play the game, but that's just what made me think of it.
There we go. So that's hard to say. Successful deflections pretty much open the enemy up to death blow attacks. Successful deflections will greatly increase their posture meter, which is really why successful deflections are the most important part of the game, which is also why I'm so bad at it, because I have this ingrained Souls memory where I need to dash everything, I need to dodge everything.
Yeah. Like Bloodborne is a lot you want to dodge. You want to dodge a lot in Bloodborne, and Dark Souls is a little more blocking. Dead Cells you can kind of take your pick either way.
Shit. Here's what we're gonna do.
Depending on how you want to play it.
So even these bigger dudes, all you gotta do, sneak up behind them, one-shot it, you know? And it is amazingly gratifying. It feels so good to do that, just that instant kill attack. No matter how many times I do it, it always feels like a power move, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's nice. It's really nice. I'm gonna die though.
Well, you got 6 guys on you right now?
Yeah,
There's
that's
an archer somewhere back there, at least one of those.
So it actually is possible.
What did that guy just do?
I don't know.
Combat roll into nothing.
So doing like group combat is actually not terrible.
Yeah, it looks like you can take on more guys in this than you could in Bloodborne or Dark Souls.
Yeah, and there are actually some attacks that are designed for that. For example, this Whirlwind Slash is designed to hit several enemies in front of you.
Yeah, you don't really see as much of that in those games.
It's like you could sort of scrape by in those games, but here... I just aggroed a mini-boss. Oh no. So this is where I wanted to go, but I also wanted to not aggro this mini-boss yet.
Well, Shadows die twice.
Yeah. This is bad. So, I just wanted to give you an idea of what the mini-bosses were like in this game. The game is so hard that I don't actually know the distinction between mini-bosses and regular bosses, because they both just kill you anyway. So, like this guy with the spear that's up on the stairs there, I'm dead. Wait, I'm not dead.
You have 1 hit point.
Yeah. Oh, no. Oh, crap.
Well, you had the right idea.
Yeah.
Kill ads first.
Yeah. Focus ads. That's, you know, there's
that's
one
our
thing...
motto. Hey, on GameSoup, that's our motto.
It is.
Kill ads first and $3 isn't money.
That's true. It's true. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that you could use, your prosthetic abilities... Oh, Unseen Aid! Okay, there's a lot to talk about here. Unseen Aid is a chance, you can see there in the bottom left corner. Unseen Aid is a 30% chance that when you die... Oh, there's a death penalty.
No.
The death penalty is you lose exactly half of your money. And half of your experience.
For that resurrection? When you resurrect, you lose half?
Not when you resurrect.
Oh,
when
okay.
you die
when you
twice.
Die, when you... Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So you lose... if you don't
double
have
die.
any... Right.
We'll call it double die.
Right. So in Sekiro, whenever you double die, as long as you have less than 1 bar of experience, which is your blue bar down here, you lose exactly half of it, and you also lose exactly half of your money, which is very severe, and you can never recover it. There's no blood stain to go pick up. But then Unseen Aid there in the bottom corner, that's the percent chance that you will just negate that penalty altogether. And the more you die, the more that Unseen Aid percent chance goes down.
It goes down? It gets harder?
Yep. I knew. Yep.
I thought you were going to say that it gets easier because a lot of games will start babying you. Well, not a lot, but some games will have adjustable difficulty that automatically adjusts. For instance, Resident Evil 2 Remake, which if you want to hear our thoughts on that, you can watch our LP on that. We talked about the difficulty adjustment in that game. But no.
No, it gets it gets harder. And lore-wise, it's
that's funny.
Yeah. They've kind of built in a justification for it in the story of the game, or the lore of the game. And I'm fine with it. It makes perfect sense within this game. And it's a pretty big part of the story, as much as there is, which is to say not much. But yeah, the more you die, the harder the game sort of gets. The less chance of negating a death.
Right.
There we go. So collect all that money. And money's pretty easy to come by anyway. And also the fact that there are plenty of items designed specifically to... So this one, for example, boosts attack power. This one reduces vitality damage. This one reduces posture damage. This one makes you harder to detect. This one increases gold find, right? And this one increases item find. This one increases spirit emblems, which are the currency for your prosthetic weapons. So down there in the bottom right corner, we have 3 equipped right now. We have the flame vent, the spring-loaded firecracker, and the loaded axe. And they all cost spirit emblems, which you can buy. They cost 10 sen, so they're pretty much free.
Spring-loaded firecracker?
Yeah.
Sounds like something that a Dennis the Menace type of kid would be really into.
Do you think? Oh! There we go. Oops. So what's cool is you can also deflect bullets, even though I'm not doing it. Oops. You can deflect bullets and really any kind of projectiles. I'm dead.
Was that double dead, or is that just
no?
one?
That was just single dead.
death.
Yeah.
Let's
Now
go for the double.
The real benefit of the double death is to let you run away and regroup, which more often than not is all you need. Oh, except for that guy who's shooting at us. Whoops. More often than not, all it takes is to reset aggro on some enemies.
Do you ever get to shoot back?
Or
is it mostly about just
closing
closing in on them?
I don't know.
It seems like you'd be able to close in on them pretty quickly with that grappling hook ability,
yeah,
though.
you really can. And like the world design
used
is,
it,
yeah, the game is built for you to close gaps with that grappling hook, and you can use it during combat in specific ways that are explicitly designed for you to do so. Some enemies will let you grapple them directly.
It's pretty visceral. Like the animation really gets across the impact of every hit on you and on the enemies.
And like for example, this spring-loaded firecracker creates noise and light, right? So you use it on. There you go. So it distracts enemies.
Like it's like using a flash or something.
Yeah, exactly. It's really good against animals. So there's some beasts in this game where it's particularly useful. Oof. Everything looks really messed up in this game.
Oh, it's a Miyazaki game.
Yeah.
I kind of expect that.
It is a classic Miyazaki game. Like, there's an NPC that's a guy in a barrel. And the barrel
Covetous Shen?
Kind of like that, yeah. It's a guy that just shakes around inside of a barrel. So, here's that mini-boss that we just died to a couple minutes ago. I just want to show you what else. I actually haven't used this item yet. Oh, God. Oh, God!
There's a lot of guys.
So these guys are not easy. These guys are capable of deflecting your attacks and kind of presenting a challenge to you. You can say they almost always block your attacks. So they really force you to master the technique.
Parry?
The parry, the deflect. And you can just hold left bumper and just block all the way. That's really... You can see as I'm doing that, my posture bar is increasing. And as soon as that bar fills, I'm dead, you know? So it's not a thing you just want to do willy-nilly. But like this guy, maybe?
It seems like you can block a lot. Like you can even block really heavy attacks. It
Yeah.
seems like it seems like it's a pretty solid block. Like a lot of times blocks in games, there's a block breaker that breaks it. Like you have more of a rock, paper, scissors system. But in this, it seems like block beats all, but you have a limited amount of it. You can only block maybe 3 or 4 attacks, it seems like. And then your what's it called? Posture. Your posture bar breaks.
Oh, is he facing...
He's facing the other way.
He is. So here's a really, really interesting thing about the mini-bosses in this game. So far, I believe all of them, except for maybe a couple, like 1 or 2. There's a lot of mini-bosses, first of all. But all of the mini-bosses in the game have 2 health bars, so to speak. So you have to death blow them twice. But one of those death blows is always possible to erase before the combat actually begins. So almost every mini-boss...
Well, he just turned around.
Crud. Shit. We gotta hide. Oh, we didn't hide. He sees us. Okay, so it's almost always possible to start each mini-boss with just 1 health bar.
Chase you down here?
I don't think so, but I also don't think they lose aggro, and if they do, they recover their health. So what we can do is... My only complaint so far with this game is what you're seeing right now. The grappling indicators depend on the direction of the camera. And sometimes if you're not... Sometimes you kind of have to wildly swing the camera to get that exact perspective.
Yeah, kind of see that, yeah.
Yeah. But where'd he go?
Oh, he's right fucking there.
But it's in this combat where the jumping and oh crud. The jumping and the dodging and the deflecting really
I like
shine.
the design of that guy.
Yeah, yeah.
That heavy armor and the spear looks really cool.
And this is something that I haven't even successfully done yet, but most attacks...
Not practical, but looks cool.
Mm-hmm. Like, there are plenty of attacks that if you know... It's sort of like a rock, paper, scissors thing. Like, sweep attacks you can jump over. Thrust attacks you can use the Mikiti counter. But there are plenty of attacks where I haven't learned to recognize them yet. And I either just face tank them because I don't really understand quite yet the best way to do it, or I just, you know, or they just kill you. So this is a game that I could see takes tens of hours to really sink your teeth into and understand. And I feel like I said, I'm 12 hours in. I feel like I'm still a novice. You know, this is like imposter syndrome, the game. You're supposed to be this deadly shinobi. You can't do anything. Maybe it's just me.
Yeah, it probably just takes a while to get used to the control.
Yeah.
I mean, you've played a lot of games, and you've played a lot of games by the company and in the genre. So, well, sort of in the genre. This is a little bit different, but I mean, you can kind of tell. You can kind of tell that it was made by FromSoft.
Yeah.
But it does feel different than a Dark Souls or a Bloodborne, even from a layman's standpoint. And I'm about as layman as it gets for those kind of games, or for FromSoft games. Yeah.
Mm. So also along the same lines of the stat system we talked about earlier and the lack thereof, the skill trees are unlocked by collecting certain texts. So originally you only start out with this, and this is the skill tree. And you'll find some more, and you'll come across them, and they have their own skill trees. So, and there are some passive abilities. Most of them are arts that you will learn. Like, when you start the game, you already feel like you have a complete character, but you learn more. Like, for example, this attack, the butterfly slash, I believe it's called, something you unlock. Which is used to hit multiple enemies. But it's something that you can unlock through the skill tree.
You eavesdrop? You can hear what they're talking about?
Yeah, you can listen to the conversations that they have. And usually it's helpful. Sometimes they tell you things about the area, like maybe like a treasure, where a treasure is, or where you're trying to go, actually, or a secret path.
Kind of interesting that there's a specific button for eavesdrop.
Yeah.
In Metal Gear Solid, they obviously you would hear guards talking to each other, you can hear funny conversations, or maybe some useful information here and there, but in this, you have to press a specific button to do that stuff, or to hear that stuff.
And you can see here the primary ways to increase your abilities are you can increase your vitality and posture through collecting 4 prayer beads. It's like a piece of heart, you know, from Zelda. Collect 4 of those, you get more life and more attack, or more life and posture. And you can use memory to enhance attack power. Both of which you'll come across over the course of the game. I think most of it is optional. So just like Zelda, you're kind of have to search it out, you know, which you're gonna want to do, by and large. We've been going for a while, so
no, we're all right, man. Well, yeah, I guess you can do a little bit more though.
Yeah, I think
I'll show you more to show.
I'll just show you I guess this would be considered mid game. I'm not really sure where I am in the game because I tried to avoid spoilers. But I'll show you a section that has been kicking my butt relentlessly. Is it? I think it's here.
You haven't been getting your butt kicked relentlessly so far?
Well,
we both have. Yeah,
more than I already have.
Yeah.
It is a difficult game, but it is unbelievably well. First of all, it's fair, so it's not a game that's cheap and you're like, oh, this feels cheap, I don't like it.
Yeah, you learn each time, right? That's,
yeah,
I mean that's FromSoft.
Yeah, exactly. That's the From formula, and especially, excuse me, in this game, you feel like it gives you the power fantasy that you want, because all it takes is a quick little stealth. You run up behind this guy and Oh, he's dead.
Yeah, give him a little jab. Jab in the neck.
And it gives you that power fantasy, but at the same time, you are so fragile, and enemies will attack so relentlessly, and it is still an unbelievable challenge. I can't even describe.
Can we hide in these trees too?
Yeah, anytime you're in a bush like this, or this like waist high grass, as long as you're stealthed, they can't see you. So which is really great, because sometimes they walk right near the edge of it, and you can just grab them. Like here, for example, what I'm going to do is there's this guy and this guy right ahead of him. What I'm going to do is...
so peaceful.
Yeah, I know. So what I'm going to do is wreck this guy. The guy ahead of him doesn't notice. Yeah, the enemy, the ranges are a little silly sometimes. Sometimes there will be two guys like, 10 feet, within 10 feet of each other, and the first guy doesn't notice the second guy just got decapitated.
Yeah. It's kind of standard for any kind of a game that even resembles a stealth game, that the enemies are really dumb.
But they're not really. They're really not dumb overall. Like, it's very obvious where the concessions were made to make it fair, to make it a game.
Yeah, I mean, it's game. Yeah, at some point, you can't make them all behave as a real human being would behave, as an equal to the player, or the game wouldn't be fun at all. Like, the player has to be somewhat more powerful than the enemies in a game like this, or the learning curve is just going to be way too high. You're playing Double Dragon 3 for NES at that point.
Uh-oh. So I got spotted by 5 guys, maybe? So these guys, I'm not very good at taking head on. As you can see here.
Yeah,
I don't even know
a little bit more quick and nimble than our other boys that we've seen so far.
Yeah. So,
but at least they know that you die twice. At least they don't know that you die twice. They seem startled.
Yeah.
When you come back to life, or they just walk away after they kill you, which is odd. That's not what I would do if I just killed a man who was invading my little area here. I'd probably be devastated, actually. I hate to take a man's life.
There we go. So you can sort of get by with the R1 spam, but it is really not your best avenue. I would like to try... Yeah.
Yeah, deflecting seems to be the way to go, but these guys are kind of fast.
Yeah,
kind of got to learn the attacks of them. One thing I was going to say, this is kind of an old reference, but the old Afro Samurai game, I don't know if anybody remembers that. But
I actually never played that one.
That game had a lot of parrying and deflecting. The parry in that was... it was really fun once you learned how to use it, and it was like it was a key element of the game. You could mash, but it was more advantageous to do that, and much more fun to do the parrying in that game. This is definitely more refined. I mean, Afro Samurai, that game came out like a decade ago at this point. Everything is a decade ago on GS, but I mean, it seems like everything's about a decade, about a decade old. Besides the games that came out in 2019, everything else decade old.
Yeah.
But yeah, Afro Samurai, I liked that game a lot. Like, it wasn't top-notch action game, but it was... I liked it a lot. I liked the control and the style of the game overall. But this seems similar to it in a way, but a lot more refined. And obviously, it's a FromSoft game.
Yeah.
What else can you really say about Sekiro? All right, so just to reveal, Ed and I, before the episode started, we decided that we were each going to pronounce the name of the game completely wrong on purpose, because we thought it would be funny, but I actually don't think it's that funny anymore, so I decided to announce it. Ed was going to pronounce the game Sekiro, and I was going to pronounce it Sekiro. So that's what we've been doing for the episode.
You gave it away, man.
Yeah, I gave it away. I think it's funnier to reveal it, though, actually, at the end here.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Let them in on the gag. Don't keep it to ourselves.
Yeah. Oops. So you take a little bit of fall damage when you fall like a very, very high distance. And there's actually just one more thing. Did it just get bright in here? Did it just turn dark to bright for some reason? Is that just me? It looked like the lighting in the game just suddenly went... That was weird. Maybe it was just my dumb brain.
I don't know.
I'm just
replay it. I didn't notice.
Yeah,
I wasn't paying attention, I guess.
I just want to show off one more thing, which is the things that you can do when you have this grappling system, especially for a FromSoft game, which really have never been seen before in this particular genre. Because, arguably, I mean, whether you want to admit it or not, Souls-like is a genre that was invented by From. And every game in the last decade has been influenced by it in some way.
Seems that way. Everything is the Dark Souls of fill in the blank.
Yep. And there was a lot of apprehension, I think. I was definitely one of those people that didn't know how this game was going to turn out because it abandoned so many of the traditional aspects of Souls games.
And at some point it becomes a parody of itself, right?
Yeah.
Like they can keep on tightening it up, but at some point, I don't know, if you're an artist, you don't want to be doing the same exact kind of project over and over again. If you do the same kind of project for 10 or 15 years, I mean, at that point, you've probably perfected it and you want to move on and do something a little different. But you still want to take the knowledge that you had. Like, you only have a finite amount of time to learn skills and learn how to make a certain kind of art. And this is a very specific kind of art. A FromSoft style game, so I don't know where I'm going with this. But yeah, this I think this marks a change in direction just from what I've seen so far, and this is really all I've seen. Is like, I've seen a couple trailers, I think. Yeah. And then tonight.
And that's probably the most striking thing, is the fact that this change was possible in the first place. Oh, I thought I was about to die.
I mean, it's a risk to do it.
Yeah. But not even that, just I think creatively, having to break out of that Dark Souls mindset after 5 games, 10 years of games, and the fact that this was done so successfully. Like, this could have gone horribly awry.
Yeah, I mean, it's a risk to do it that way, right? You could go the EA way, where you just want to, or the big company, the AAA way, where like Assassin's Creed or something like that, just to name one AAA series that kind of just does the same thing over and over again. You can go that way, but I mean, it's still a piece of art, right? But it's not really adding anything new,
right,
to our collective, to our, what's the word?
Our alien, I mean, hive mind collective? I don't know.
Something like that.
So does the game break new ground? In some ways, yeah. I think it's a unique blend of these elements that have been existing for a while, which, you know, like is most games anyway.
Collective unconscious, that's the word.
Collective unconscious, that's the word. Yeah. So, like, it takes stealth elements from plenty of other games. Most of those elements are unchanged, but it does it in the FromSoft way. And I absolutely feel like it has enough to differentiate it, and it is its own unique thing, and even though it has all those existing elements, it puts them together in a particular blend of game soup that is unique. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, adding the verticality element and the other changes to the gameplay. But yeah, I think it's changed enough that it's like a different kind of game, but you can still tell that they used, Miyazaki and the team used what they learned from the old games. And I think that's where you want to be. You want to be able to take maybe 50%, or maybe somewhere between 40 and 60%. I mean, these are rough numbers of what you learned in the past, making something familiar, but then changing 40 to 60% of it to something completely different.
So if you're watching this and you had any doubts about the game, which hopefully you hadn't by now, I hope that the response so far has been enough to assuage you.
Is this just out for Steam, or is this
is everything?
It's out on PS4 and Steam and well, not just. I know it's not just out for Steam, but is it out for like Xbox too and everything?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
oh, cool.
I think it's everything. Yeah, every major platform right now.
I don't know if they got any like exclusive deals, but I guess if it's on Steam, it's probably on everything.
Oh. That's a dead end.
I don't know why I said it. Is this just on Steam? I knew it was. Oh man.
So, yeah, it's just been a blast. Even when I'm getting my butt kicked, it's a blast to just run around and do this grappling stuff. And just because of the fact that it's Miyazaki style level design, there's always something new to discover that you missed the first 10 times.
It's always fun to grapple around, since like Ocarina of Time.
That's
always been fun.
That's true. I don't think I can make this.
Well, you might as well try. It's the end of the episode. That was perfect. All right, goodbye. See you next week.